Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Orthodox Banter with the Point. I'm the point in question, and this is a continuation of my previous video where I shared my struggles with the Serbian episcopate. And one of my really good friends, Tim, asked a perfectly valid question. Well, what if, you sharing your struggles scares the Inquirers away? I myself, first of all, this is a perfectly valid and proper question. However, I have an exact opposite, approach. What if the Inquirers entered the church having this completely idealized view of Orthodox hierarchy of people, and especially because a lot of people, approach the church through daily reading of the lives of the saints, and then they realize that in the field things are not as they were presented out to be. And this is something that I referenced on my main channel as well. I have a caveat when, getting into Orthodoxy. I have Bishop so-and-so-imus and so on. The recurring motive of being on guard against disappointment. And, it's fine feeling disappointment as long as you don't leave the church. And I'm someone who's, despite of all the issues I've had, never for one moment considered leaving Orthodoxy for in an instant. When I wanted to become a practicing Christian at around, 17 years old, which is, kind of young to make such a decision, but I don't think it's too young. I essentially opted between Catholicism and Orthodoxy because I consider them both, they have a claim to apostolic succession. And I joke that if I have become Catholic, there will be no disappointments because as a Serb, I have no illusions of what Catholic clergy could be like. However, such illusions I did have of Orthodox clergy and Orthodox bishops. However, that absolutely does not mean that all of the clergy, or I should say, majority of clergy are bad, wicked. A lot of us struggle with different things, and somebody said in the comments on my previous video, the hierarchy is always the weakest, what's the term that they used? The weakest part of Orthodoxy, something like that. This is only technically correct, but in what sense? That is like saying that the mid-shield soldiers are the weakest because they get slaughtered. Well, yeah, but they also serve a very important function because they absorb a lot of bullets. And in that very same way that the hierarchy is the weakest part of Orthodoxy, that was, I think, it's simply the weakest part of Orthodoxy. Well, yeah, because they are essentially the mid-shields. And while it may appear to me, or you, or whoever, that they are these supreme princes of the church living high and above in their ivory towers, they still suffer, a whole lot of different pressures for a whole lot of different stakeholders, something that I also like to emphasize a lot. A very brief example. Okay, two examples. First one I mentioned in the previous video. There was this crappy text on the official website of the Serbian Orthodox Church. It causes a wildfire of hate towards the church, whether from people who hated it anyway, from people to people who were sort of ambivalent towards the church, but also from people who are like regular church-going people. But also, one of the reasons why this caused such amount of hate is because a lot of news outlets, maliciously or not paying a lot of attention, share this news with the patriarch's picture, despite it not being written by the patriarch. And again, one can say, well, it's the official church website, so, you know, it could sort of been seen with the patriarch at least agreeing in part with the article, in the sense of he did not oppose to it so vehemently that it's not published. However, this is the part I did not mention in different videos I had regarding protests in Serbia, but an ambulance car ran over a dog during the protests, and this caused a lot of furor from again protesters. Why? Because it's sort of public secret that ambulance cars are regularly used by the ruling party, you know, to showcase how these protests are blocking, you know, the traffic, how people will die, you know. I have not attended a single protest without an ambulance trying to pass by. And I could go on for, I don't know, weeks on end without seeing an ambulance anywhere in my vicinity, but literally every protest I attend, there's always an ambulance going around. And there is even a video from a silly former monk. When I say former, he was kicked out of his monastery. He by himself did not like live monasticism. There is a video of these. He actually managed to capture Serbian special forces leaving one such ambulance. So I'm just giving you. One might say, well, you know, it was a rush. He was rushing someone to the hospital. He ran over a dog. But yeah, here the implication is this was a servant of the state, of the regime, running over a dog during a protest. So our patriarch saw it fit to have a little photo op with his Shar Mountain dog, which is one of the breeds we have here in Serbia. You know, oh, I'm a dog lover, and the caption to the the caption to the news said, the president received a gift from the patriarch, and look how cute that dog is. So that was the caption in a lot of pro-regime news. The patriarch did not give that dog to the president. It was a gift from a certain worker in the patriarchate who is the cause of a lot of my personal disappointments. And while I may seem to criticize the episcopate here, I do defend them a lot on Serbian Twitter. And you know, whenever people start, oh, that patriarch is giving dog, no, it's not him, it's this guy. And if there were not that guy, I think that the public presence of the patriarch would be at least 2 layers better. Some of you have criticized me, oh, you're a liberal, you support the color revolution, and so on. I already responded to the color revolution, and I want to emphasize this. I'm not for the patriarch to go out and, yes, the protesters are cool. That would be the exact same category mistake as the current, sucking up to the state authorities. The exact same. You know, aligning yourself completely with the secular politics and so on. You know, I'm not for that because, and again, this is something the patriarch constantly emphasized, that people think that the mission of the church is to sort of improve society through secular manners. And he's completely right. However, I do have a feeling that he only uses ever that when it comes to student protests, but never with people from the government, which, as a lot of Serbs here really know, are simply horrible for this state. Literally, they gave up all of our natural resources to all of the foreign nationals. They basically gave Kosovo away. It's simply bad. I simply have no idea what could a worse ruler do, you know? But again, these are simply my, rants, and I'm simply falling back into this normal, everyday, standard issue Boyan. I'm simply, one of the priests, the defenders of the patriarch, said, we should not clap at things that are instantly popular. Okay, these student protests, you can believe that they are color revolution, finance, that's fine, I do understand that. However, a lot of these protests are pent-up rage from 12 years of abuse. And by the way, it's not only 12 years, because we had crappy governments way before that. I don't mean just Milosevic, but in between. However, that one in between was sad, less horrible than all of the others, but still pretty bad. And again, a lot of them were simply, puppets from the outside. But we're a, poor, weak country, and we simply need to make peace that it's very improbable that we can kick out the outside influence. We could have when we were sort of big Yugoslavia. Now we are just a small country with ever-dwindling territory, and I do hope that we can, resist outside the influences, but honestly, I believe that's if not impossible, then very improbable. And I do not think that any of the outside forces mean Serbia well. They just mean unwell in very different ways. I personally think that currently China, I want to say Republic of China, and I said Russia. Russia is the best, and China, which that technically has the strongest input here, is the worst, because they're simultaneously robbing us of our considerable wealth in resources and heavily polluting the entire country. They're simply absolute cancer. I think that they could only be that such a malign influence could only be topped over by opening of that lithium mine, and they made a video on that too. And I don't know, introducing these horrible transgender values and ideology into our schools. And thankfully, our church did fight against that in the biology books, and they did manage to resist it, thank God. So yeah, there's that. I'm really sorry if this video shocked you, scandalized you. I still believe 100% that Orthodoxy is the best thing that happened to me and the world. Yes, there are I'm a crappy person. I cause people to sin and stumble, I don't think I'm better. I don't think I would be a better bishop if I were put in their position. Like if somebody comes with threats and who knows what else, So, yeah, that's it. Hope to see you guys in some of my new videos. One more thing. Once I watched a really good video about the new Snow White movie, which stars Rachel Zegler, and she was she was a thorn in the side of that production since the inception. I really liked the video. Then I realized that the guy was really milking it, like every day the new video about the same subject. I do realize that I'm essentially doing the same with the bishops. I mean, I do always have some new input. I do not want technically to milk it, but I know it sort of seems like that, so I do hope that nothing special of note happens in this regard. But if this I might update you on as protests go in like a month or something, but yeah, I'm sorry. This is essentially my vlog channel, so when I get emotionally hyped up about something, I will share it with you. So there's that. Bye.